Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about wants and needs. And we're going to start on this in this conversation about looking at the definition of a need and a want. And I do this so that we can all understand what I mean when I use each of these words. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you know I like to start with defining what we're talking about. So I usually go to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. You can go there right now if you're inclined to look up need and want. And when you look up a need, or the definition of the word need, it's defined as a lack of something that is a requisite or is desirable or useful. And a want is defined as a desire to come, go, or be. So when we look at words, each word in any language has a distinct vibrational frequency. Words and names hold power. It's a magical axiom that is quoted frequently, and I believe it to be a truth. So what sort of frequency does each of these two words hold? They're certainly not the same energetic frequency. And I'm confident that you'd agree with me on that point. These words cannot be used interchangeably, although many people do. But when that's done, the vibration of the intention of the sentence or the spell is shifted, and not necessarily in the most beneficial way, especially for a witch casting a spell. Now, I've been told once or twice that wants originate within the ego, while needs are rooted within the authentic witch self. But I disagree. I believe that when this is so carefully explained, usually in a very judgmental way, the understanding of the difference between these two words is misunderstood or clouded. So it may be easier to understand when I break down the definitions into a simple keyword for each word, something I encourage any of my students to do when learning how to read tarot. So a need is defined as a lack of something requisite, desirable, or useful. So a need is a lack. A want is defined as a desire to come, go, or be. So a want is a desire. So a need is a lack. The ego is responsible for recognizing what the self lacks and what it possesses. It is focused on the requirements of survival on the physical plane of existence. The ego is constantly assuring the self that these requirements or needs are met. The ego is in constant fear of these needs not being met. So needs are not rooted in the authentic witch self. Needs originate within the ego, while wants are rooted within the witch authentic self, because the witch self does not fear. There's no concern about lacking. This part of the witch understands the essence of self, nature, and divinity, and is in a constant state of abundance and power. So when the witch focuses on a need, there's a focus on what he or she is lacking in their life. The point of focus, the target of their intention, is a void. The witch is looking to fill a void that he or she perceives is the emptiness within his or herself or in their life. The void ends up being the target of the spell. The energetic frequency that the witch is broadcasting out into the ethers is lack, Even if the witch pronounces that they need money, perhaps to pay rent, the focus within the spell is a lack of money. There is none, so they need some. And that witch is not aligned with their authentic witch self. They are aligned with their ego, since the ego is responsible for recognizing what it lacks. Now, when that same witch focuses on a want, there's a focus on what he or she desires to manifest in their life. The point of focus, the target of their intention, is a desire or a wish. So that witch is looking to bring a specific desire or thing into their life. That desire, that thing, is the target of the spell. The energetic frequency that the witch is broadcasting out into the ethers is desire. So when the witch pronounces that they want money, perhaps to pay the rent, the focus of the spell is a desire for money. Here there's no suggestion that he or she doesn't have money, but rather the witch wants it, perhaps even more of what he or she already has. And here the witch is aligned with their authentic witch self. Now, with the clear understanding that the witch casts for what he or she desires, there's a focus on the outcome of the spell, not on the present circumstances, which in many cases is one of lack. But when casting a spell, the witch will benefit from perceiving their intention as a want, with a focus on that desired outcome, not with a focus on the present condition of lacking in their situation. Doing so, focusing on the lack, is a great hindrance and is the primary way that the witch sabotages his or her own spell casting. The momentum, the strength or force of a cast spell is driven by the intensity of the power that fuels the intention towards its designated target. So the more a witch focuses on their need for money, the stronger the need or lack will become, while the witch that is focused on their want for money, the power of that desire for money will build momentum and ultimately manifest money in their life experience. So anyone out there listening or watching this video who identify as witch and practice witchcraft, or if you practice any form of magic, it's important to understand the distinct difference between a need and a want. And it seems to me that in our modern society, we're told that it's selfish to acknowledge and act on our desires or wants. Instead, we should only be identifying and pursuing our needs. Maybe it's the influence of Christianity that is prevalent throughout our society, which encourages us to be altruistic and self-sacrificing, to deny our wants, and unapologetically condemns those of us who embrace and revel in our most natural desires, those of us who recognize our inherent power to manifest what we want. Don't be afraid to want. You are here on this physical plane, living a physical life experience, and you are expected to want. I, as witch, never stop wanting. And brothers and sisters out there, neither should you. Much love. Blessed be.